Dorsey, Dimpletoes, and the Great Big Box. Written by Frank Smith III. Illustrated by Billy Davidson Jr. It was just after dinner and Dorsey had finished all of her food, even the yucky spinach. "Good job, Dorsey," said her mother. "Now, go and finish your homework. You have school tomorrow and you need your rest." "Yes, ma'am," said Dorsey. Suddenly, Dorsey heard a man's voice in the living room. "Daddy's home!" she cried. Dorsey's father was locking the front door when she ran over to hug him. "Daddy, guess what? I finished all of my dinner, even the yucky spinach." "That's great, baby. Good job. You know, since you've been such a good girl lately, there just might be a surprise for you on the table in the morning." That's when she saw it. It was big. It was square. It was a great big box. "What is it?" she asked. "Is it for me?" Dorsey's father explained that she had to use her imagination until the morning. "What's imagination?" asked Dorsey. "That's when you think of anything at all, no matter how big or small in your head. Now, go finish your homework, brush your teeth, and get some sleep. Tomorrow just might be a big day for you." Dorsey kissed her parents, finished her homework, and brushed her teeth. The whole time she couldn't stop thinking about her imagination. It was now time to go to sleep. After saying her prayers, Dorsey climbed into bed and cuddled up to Mr. Fluffy, her teddy bear. All that good food and her very difficult homework made her feel a bit drowsy. She had to write a paragraph on her favorite color. Her eyelids were starting to get heavy. Her last words were, "The great big box. I wonder what's inside of the great big box." As she drifted off to sleep, she began to dream. She didn't know it at the time, but she was about to use her imagination. Dorsey loved birds. She liked how beautiful their feathers were and how they flew so gracefully through the sky. In her first dream, Dorsey was now a robin. She had wings. As she soared through the air with the other birds, she looked down and saw it. It was big. It was square. It was the great big box. It was in her dream. Dorsey was in a deep sleep when she soared through the air in the dream. But now the dream was about to change. It was time to use her imagination again. Her next dream was coming up and she had to be ready for whatever it was going to be. In the next dream, Dorsey went from flying with the birds to swimming around with the fish in the ocean. In this dream, she was a lovely little mermaid. As she swam around with the other fish, she noticed something else floating in the sea. It was big. It was square. It had a tail. It was the great big box. It felt like they had been swimming forever, and now it was time for the dream to change again. It was time for Dorsey to use her imagination to create yet another scene in her mind, one that involved the great big box. This time, Dorsey was not flying through the sky with the birds. She was not swimming through the sea with the schools of fish. In her dreams, Dorsey was not in her bed. She was not in her home. She was not even on the planet Earth. She was an astronaut on a rocket ship in outer space, soaring through space in her spacesuit, riding a rocket ship. She saw all sorts of planets, moons, and stars. She also noticed something connected to the back of her rocket ship. Yes, there it was. It was the same thing in her flying and swimming dream. It was hitching a ride back home. It was big. It was square. It was the great big box. Suddenly, Dorsey felt a little strange. She was no longer in her spaceship. The rocket ship had disappeared. She was still in space and felt a little tug. Something was pulling her down. She looked down and saw the planet Earth. Her home was down there. As the Earth's gravity pulled her closer and faster to the ground, she screamed. Was this a dream? It seemed very real. And just like that, she awoke. Wow, what a dream! She dreamt she was a bird flying high in the sky. She dreamt that she was a fish in the sea. She dreamt she was an astronaut on a rocket ship in outer space. In every one of the dreams, the great big box was there. She also realized that it was now morning. She wondered, was the great big box still on the kitchen table? She had to find out. Dorsey walked into the kitchen and there it was. It was in the same place her father left it, but this time it looked different. It wasn't just a great big box. This time it had pink and white wrapping paper on it. This time it had a beautiful bow on it. It also had her name on the tag. Could it be that the great big box was for her? Dorsey remembered it was her birthday. She was 6 years old today. Now all she had to do was open it. What is in the great big box?